time, it causes you to have increased heart rate and blood pressure. Because that's what these hormones do. They're meant for short-term survival. But if they're released all the time, they're going to cause your heart rate and blood sugar to go, or pressure to go up. They're going to increase your blood sugar. They downregulate insulin receptors. In other words, insulin can't take sugar out of the blood, so blood sugar courses through unchecked. Increase fatty acids in the blood. Increase clotting factors in the blood. It goes on and on and on. Stimulates areas for fear and anxiety. How many people do you know have anxiety? People are running, scared, they're anxious. Downregulates growth and hormone. So all these things are supposed to happen when you're under a short-term stressor. But when you're subluxated, it can't get shut off. It happens chronically. It's the same thing if you don't think well. It's the same thing if you don't eat good nutrition. That is a stressor. It's chronic in your body. Okay? So over time, if you leave those things unchecked, like your blood pressure going up and your heart rate going up and your blood sugar going up, these are the outcomes eventually. Leads to heart disease and stroke, diabetes and obesity, cancers, cold flus, and so on, anxiety, attention deficits. Do you mean to say, Dr. Rob, that you have the audacity to say that vertebral subluxations can actually cause this? Yep. Absolutely. And you just know what? It's not me. It's the science. It's the research back there. And it's the anecdotal evidence, what we see in our office every day. People who get adjusted, and these things start to clear up. So, that's pretty powerful, if you ask me. And as long as you have subluxations, as long as they're in there and not corrected, you'll always be getting these stress signals. They can't get shut off as long as you've got subluxation. Okay, I'm going to go through this. We talked about this. Okay, the opposite effect. Remember we said there's nociceptors that are N negative. There's also proprioceptors, P positive. Proprioceptors are in and around all the spinal joints. They should be constantly bombarding your cerebellum with information about what's happening in and around there. Okay? When you have a subluxation, you actually shut off the proprioceptors. So you've almost got a double whammy. The nociceptors are turned on, proprioceptors are turned off. So you get negative signals and not enough positive signals. Does that make sense? Okay, so, and those signals are for healing, for inhibiting pain, and spinal movement is what stimulates these proprioceptors. So you do stimulate them when you exercise. So awesome, exercise, move your spine through full range of motion and think, man, I'm literally energizing my brain with this. Okay? But again, if you're subluxated and it can't move properly, always causes decreased spinal motion. Subluxations always do that, and you get deficient proprioception. Let's see where we're at now. I want to show you something. How are we doing on time, Dr. Aaron?
You're good. You got 2 more hours.
Okay. I want to show you a schematic, so to speak, a video. It might help you to see how this works. Okay. All right, so if you look at the big picture here, you can see here's the organs. You see there's green. It's yellow or green, but the message is moving back and forth. That would be considered good. Now, if you watch, it's going down, and then it's going to go back up, and it's going to hit this chunk in the back. See the cerebellum in the back of the brain? It's going to that part. Okay? And if you look at this one here, and I'll zoom in. Water. So, green again. Okay? Proprioceptors in and around all the joints, the ligaments, the tendons there. Good. Good messages. Things are moving well. These messages are going up to the cerebellum. Now, let's see what happens when a person is subluxated. Now you can see the color has changed. And the message is, if you watch as they go up, they go to the cerebellum. They didn't go to that chunk in the back. They went right past it up to the brain. You see it gets red up there, okay? So it's going right past that. And it's then in turn sending messages back. It's literally affecting your organs. Now if we go again, it's even worse. Instead of, it's pink, now it's red. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And you can see over here, that's what's happening. These joints are not moving properly. It's affecting those proprioceptors. Negative signal, nociceptors, I should say. The nociceptors are sending up to the brain. Okay. So now what happens? You start to bend, all right? Bend and everything is going great. Bend forward. Green goes up, hits the cerebellum, doing fantastic. Subluxation. Same thing happens over and over and over. Now, we go to sitting. Okay, sitting posture. If you look, this is a normal posture. The head is over the shoulders. That guy's an ergonomic poster child. You know what I mean? And but see the green going up, hit the cerebellum. Things are fantastic. Look at this picture. Again, green. Things are firing, hitting the cerebellum, relaying up to the brain. Person's thinking clearly. Person's able to function optimally. We start to go to the next thing. He starts to lose the curve in there. Okay, chronic postural problems. You've got some pink going through. Again, it's missing the cerebellum. Going to the stress centers, causing the release of stress hormones. You lose even more curve. Now you can see you've got strain on the spinal cord, your lifeline. Messages are getting through and they're even slower than before. Okay? That is what happens chronically, and this person may not have any symptoms yet. Here's the cool part. Here's a person, and normally I would say this till the end, but this person's about to get adjusted. Okay? He's subluxated. Messages are going up to the brain. Stress and anxiety centers are being worked over. Boom, adjustment. Green. Cool. Okay? Turns on life. Literally, it's turning on life. And in that instant, watch where it goes. Make an adjustment. Green. Cerebellum. Cool. That's where you want it to go. Alright? Slowly over time, as you gradually reduce the subluxations, you get improved function throughout. Okay. Is that cool? I love that. Alright. Any questions on that?
This goes back to your original reason why you badmouth chiropractors, and I'm under chiropractic treatment, so
Yes.
this is just just as much curiosity as anything. But had been to one chiropractor and had said, "Oh, you need to come in every day for a week for a year, maybe because of this, that, and the other." And another one who has treated me in and says, "Come back every 6 weeks, and let's just So maybe originally went in for an issue, no issues really for the most part, and two different responses from chiropractors. Is this two philosophies?
Wow, there's so many ways we could go. We usually have people come in 2 or 3 times a day for the first month.
2 or 3 times a day?
I'm not joking.
A week, right.
It's going to be 1,000 visits over the first year. No.
It's not too far.
I don't know what he was thinking, okay? We try to base our recommendations on science, okay? And experience, because we typically see people who've had similar issues, but we use technology that helps us to measure nerve function. And when you have technology that can help you measure nerve function, you can kind of make pretty good recommendations about like how often you come. How often was that the first guy was saying? Every day for how long?
I mean, he was saying 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And I understand that when you're injured, that's something you need to get on, and it's a slow recovery.
Yeah.
And the person thought that they saw that my neck was losing its curve also.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, and I didn't have, this other person didn't take insurance, so it was like, okay, this will be about $3,000, you'll go for about a year, and it was like, wow, I've been seeing